All right. So welcome back, everybody. This is the Changing Diva set review, and we're just going to be going over Black. Once again, same usual suspects: Tetra and Eden.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
And yeah, well, as you can tell, we're still doing the same format. Our ratings will be 1 through 5. Please go easy on us. They're just our opinions. We're not the most knowledgeable players or anything like that. So, you know, um, we just play the game. A couple of us are competitive, and some of us are new. And yeah, we're gonna go just jump straight into the first card here. It is Musica Groovy. So this is a zero cost main phase grow, level 2. All Signy on your opponent's field gain when the Signy is vanished. You put the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck into the trash for each of that card's levels. And then you can pay 3 colorless to vanish target Signy on your opponent's field, and then resurrect something that is the same level as the one that you vanished. Um, so I actually recently just played this card because I saw an interesting list that uh, wasn't running salvage and it was running like this as like the mill piece. Which yeah sounds pretty bad. And granted, it was pretty bad. I ended up just playing salvage anyways. Um, but the the fact that you can kind of run this as like a alternative mill, because this can mill a lot because it's 2 times their level. So let's say they have like 3, 2, 1. It's still 6, 4, and 2, which is 12 cards, which is a lot for Wheatcross. But with diagram, you want double defensives, so I don't think these like aggressive main phase ones are meant for that kind of deck. But I do think like this card is like pretty neat, but I don't think it's great.
I have the exact same thought. Like, it's just this is decent, but as Lion's Disrespect and Lion Dig, like the other option is just better. And yeah, I think you're meant to, like in diagram, you're meant to have double defenses, just also for like so you have the flexibility to do extra stuff. Like, you like that flexibility on your defenses, and your defenses are good, so why not abusing it? And this is like, you can meal with this, and like you can go with the build you said, Scarada. But yeah, I think the next options we're gonna look at is just better than this. Yeah.
Yeah, lately I've been trying a Madoka center build, focusing on discard and milling. So just keeping my Musica stuff, but with some more discard for like early game and stuff like that. I thought about using this card. The only thing is that, well, it just helps milling a lot more. That's the thing. I just feel like the other one, you can be more aggressive with the game itself. And you don't have to pay like the 3 to just do it. It's fun if you just want to go milling your opponent, but I think the other one just helps a bit more the deck. Even though I still like this card a lot. I like the
Yeah.
art and the effects themselves. I'm gonna so this the grade I'm gonna give this card
Mhm.
is basically just because I like it. It's not
Mhm.
because it's gonna be played or anything. I'm gonna give it a 3
Mhm.
just because I'm me.
No, that's fair. I
Because
don't even like me personally, I would like, because like I said, I've actually played this card too. And it
Mhm.
like it is like pretty neat when you just get to like mill your opponent for like an absorbent amount of cards for like no reason, which is like cool. Um, because like you do this on like a full board when you're not removing anything, or even if you are, you main phase grow this and then you like pop something anyways. But yeah, I think this card's like cool, and it probably does like enable some niche applications, and it lets you it's gonna do the same thing as another card will do, that we'll talk about later. But it basically lets you resolve Salvage the Future to add 3 as opposed to mill 15. Which the fact that
Mhm.
Diagram gets that
Yeah.
option this set is like it is insanely important to talk about, because it is definitely one of the highlights out of the whole set for something like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're cool to move on.
Musica Splits is the second assist for Diagram. And it's a level 1 main phase attack phase. Enter effect targets in your opponent's field gets minus 10k until the end of the turn. Then pay 1 black, 3 colorless. Targets in your opponent's field gets minus 8k. Okay, so it's decent because it's a very, very cheap option, and like don't have to spend that much of an error on it, and you're very likely to stop one lane. Stop saying art. And yeah, you're just opening one lane for cost 1, which is very, very cheap. And you're not very likely to use the other effect just because even if you're able to pay for it's for Anner, you don't want to pay. And I don't know, it's just a good defensive option. I like it. Smile.
Yeah, I feel like this is the level 2 Musica that most people will be playing. Just because you have a defensive option on on the attack phase. You probably will not want to pay the second effect, like you said, but it's an option that is there. 10k doesn't kill a lot of things, but it's like, I don't know. It's a card. I don't. We were talking before about the set and the black cards. I don't really like the majority of them. There's like one card that I like, one black card in the whole set, and the rest, I don't know. Just these costs. Like, this is basically paying 5 to stop 2 lanes as some other cards, but then you have other options. And something just fell. Freaking cats. But yeah, honestly, this is what people will be playing, but it's the better
Not
option.
necessarily good.
Yeah.
Um, I have played a lot of Madoka Center. Not only when the set came out, but now recently. And if I were gonna be completely honest, I hate this card. I hate this card a lot. And it's not because it. I mean, one thing to mention, it is basically your only option. In terms of like you have this and then the other one, and this is the only defensive Musica. And this card is very rough. Because a lot of the times the numbers don't add up. You have to use this pretty much early game when your opponent only has like level 2s and lower, and it severely limits your options. I mean, for pay 1 to remove something is very good, but if I had the option to play something like another Song of Strike, I would. And the fact that this also in the Madoka Center is basically replacing the Madoka Clap, it like feels so much worse. But once again, it is your only option, and it is the best option that you have. Um, and yeah, like I said, or you can remove 2 units, but I don't know, like the numbers on this is just like really rough, and so that's the only reason why I have like a grudge against this card. But I have to play it. But most of the time when I have played it, it's only for like minus 10k, like half the time.
Yeah.
So,
So
Mhm.
because
but it,
you're gonna use that for Anner for Song of Strike rather.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's like I said, for your defensive option, it's solid, but it's not like amazing. Um, I will, however, oh wait, I will, however,
Give
give
it
it one
one.
of these because the art is
It's basically means
pretty good. Wait, what?
It's a
means
pretty good
3.
card, yeah.
Yeah, it's solid, and the art is like the reason why I play it.
It's like a
Let's say it doesn't make the archetype unplayable, like
Yeah,
the archetype, like in Madoka Center.
yeah,
Archetype.
good card, good art.
Stop.
This
more
is my.
later than the first one, but yeah.
You have to find arguments for you to like this card.
let's let's move on. I'm keeping this rating.
All right, so we have another level 1 Musica. Power Move, which you can basically grower for 0 and get rid of anything that is 8k or lower. And with Madoka's once per game, you can literally bounce this to get rid of two things. If you're not using your bounce on the Sangha to get 2 times Lancer, or if you're not running like I am, the other Sangha that gives you resources, and yeah, you can basically bounce this twice and kill two things in the early game or as soon as you get to level 3 with your Madoka. I feel like this is the level 1 that the majority of people will play. It's pretty nice to just get rid of anything 8k or less whenever you want. And since you have the ability to do it twice, it's just fun. Again, this is not a bad card to be honest. Just that, as you said, as Scarada was saying before, you on the level 2s, you're getting rid of like Madoka Clap. With this one, you're getting rid of the draw Madoka, which it's always just
It hurts.
way better. Yeah, it hurts a lot.
Yeah, once again, as far as like level 1 Signias go, there's literally two options. It either pluses you in some form, or it removes one. And as this is just generic removal piece. It's gonna be able to kill pretty much like most things except for like 10k level 2s. So it's for just how these go, it's a solid 3 for me. The next one we talk about is like probably gonna be about a similar rating. So, you'll play this if you want the
Hmm.
removal, and if you don't, then you don't.
Yeah.
Just open soul
Personally, I've
if you like
seen
this.
personally, yeah, I've seen more people playing being on Dolphin. I think like I haven't played the deck as much. I think it's pretty much a linear deck. Like you wanna go into your Ijikatas turn 2 and try to push for some more damage on turn 3. Like the whole deck revolves around your turn 2, in my opinion, and that's why you play Chime of the Blessed Key to enable Ijikata, etc.
Yeah,
And
we can
I've
talk
seen
about
more
how we
people
can talk
going
about it.
into, yeah. And I don't know, like how I haven't seen as many people playing this card, and I don't know why. I'm not sure. I think it's just because with the next Musica,
Hmm.
we're gonna look at you have more flexibility of getting your Ijikatas.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a 3 for me too, and like yeah, we just go straight up to the next one, so we can talk about it.
Yeah. So this
Hmm.
one's mine, I believe. So this is Musica Dolphin. You mill two, and then you get to add up to two target non-colorless signi, that do not share a color to your hand. Um, so I know the most recent list that Madoka won from the spring ceremony was running this, and I pretty much can talk about why it's kind of necessary. So the weird thing about Madoka for being like a blue deck, um, its card economy and card advantage is like really really bad. Because it's playing so many random like looters, which is like the draw ditch. You're not actually playing a lot of plus ones, and you're not necessarily winning board a lot in that deck. So a lot of your cards, a lot of your card economy do fade away pretty fast, and so having to or using this gets you back 2 cards, and then it also lets you have the option to get back 2 more late in the later game. You're going to be milling stuff like or discarding stuff a lot, and so it makes your graveyard is going to definitely be filled up pretty early. And this card gives you a lot more options and like variants to like what you want to add, because you can go like Dark Energy or Laling, plus like an Osagitsune or a Zirconium, or even at best you grab back like a Hichikata and like a level 3 black. And the more I've played this, the better it's felt, because like I said, just because of how low the card economy Madoka has is like very noticeable. And that's why you're playing like the draw to like looter level 1. I forgot the name of it, but I think it's like Regulus or something like that. And
Uh, yeah, something
and
along those lines. It's unpronounceable, pretty much, but
yeah.
yeah, along those lines.
And as far as as far as rating goes, I still think like this isn't like the better option, but um or I don't think either are better than each other. I think it's just like based off of preference and like how you built your deck. But as far as like what it does give you, it's like it's fairly solid overall. Once again, it's still like a 3 in my eyes, but yeah, I think like I said, the lack of card economy in Madoka is like very noticeable, and so I think that's why this is like such a viable option as opposed to the removal one, which a lot of people would be playing um more of because more removal is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same. Like, you wanna be using power move based off your just opinion, like based off how you build the deck, which I think it's pretty standard. And I don't know, the problem with the assist that remove stuff that open another lane is that sure, you open a lane that you wouldn't be opening. At the same time, you like specifically with this deck, you want to be beating over stuff with the Jikata. But not only that, the like the removal options for level ones have the inside malus of like just doing nothing because you might have opened a lane that gets vanished. So in the end, you also lost a Signy to some I don't know, bounce or remove something up to Signy.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of the threat. Just like when you have so similar options in terms of like what they achieve in the game, you just balance out the fact one might actually worse your board and end up doing nothing, and the other one is just like really helps your card economy, as you said, because yeah, it's pretty much all draw one ditch one. Like the one the plus one you get off Chime of the Blessed Key is probably like one of the bigger thing in the deck, like the card economy side.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think this is probably the superior option just for that. The other thing might maybe just you're forced to do these in like one turn one or two because as we said for the Madoka splits you have to use in the earlier stages for your defensive options. So yeah, I just like these more probably. So I'm gonna give it a 4. But I would definitely see more people like than one or two people that I've seen playing Power Move. I will expect more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both good options overall.
I somehow forget this was the other level one. But to be honest, yeah, I feel like this one goes really well. I don't have much to add to what you both said, I believe. It's just, as it has been said before, it's just a really good card on Madoka since you're discarding stuff and your, I forgot the name, the level 2 that you want to do shit with, the blue one. God damn it,
Ijikata.
Ijikata, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, like you want to kill stuff. If you're playing what I was looking into too with Flares, you want to be killing stuff too. So yeah, and this is a really nice card to be honest. One or the other. I think it really depends on how people want to play. As I see that most likely the build I run in Musica is not the one that people usually run. I like to use my level 1 assists more directed to your resources. So, like enter, drawing, and stuff like that. So, this one literally just helps a lot with resources too. You're just getting even more cards um and just milling yourself if you're running anything like landling or such. So you have two more cards in there to just do that. If you bounce it, you grab 4 cards from your trash. So
Yeah, the
Yeah.
selectivity is just nice, and you can grab some diagrams known for its pretty powerful level 3, so being able to
Mm-hmm.
add back like two different ones, like both zirconium and like a latling, is pretty solid overall. So
Yeah.
yeah, all right.
Okay. Can go to the next card, which is Valkyrie Doomed Angel Queen. It's a level 3 10k auto. Whenever this Signy attacks, add the target level 1 angel Signy from your treasure to your hand. And the other auto is whenever this Signy is banished, you may discard 2 angels Signy. If you do, put this Signy from your energy zone onto your field down. So, um, this is just a good defensive option as of now. Like all the Angels engine, in my opinion, is not playable right now. But if you really want to find some application for this card as of now, you might have 2 or 3 set of Angel Signis you're playing. And if you can splash this card in a deck which have those angels, you can just use this as a defensive option.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is hot garbage for now, but if you find some deck that can do that for now, you can use that. And also, I miss the life burst, I think. Yeah, which is add target Signy without a guard from your trash to your end, or put it on board, which is also a decent trigger. Yeah, like the main problem for this to play now is probably that he's a black card, and like you would have your Annials and Argane in other decks, which these can go to. Because like there's just no black in Lion or Irana, or yeah, she doesn't have black. Yeah, yeah, it would be just a diagram card, and you don't have angels you want to play there. So as of now, this is just bad.
Yeah. Just if you want to go into Dream Team, but that's it. The only
Hot
thing is
one.
like I really like these types of life bursts. It's basically the same one as an Mirage. They can be really helpful. But it's just once again, this is a 10k. I've grown to like less and less 10ks because they can die pretty easily. I think I talked about it in a previous video about 10k, like on this series about 10ks. They can, or I'm just not thinking about the video that I did recorded earlier. But yeah, 10ks can die basically if you have 20 or more cards in your trash. Die to a landling, die to a inferno. Just I don't like them too much. The effect is just not that great anyways. You might be getting like a level 1 angel that you really want back, but I don't know. This is like a 1 or 2 for me too. Angels are not good right now, as you said. So yeah, just that.
Yeah, I'll also give it a 1. I love the trigger. It's like actually starting to become one of my more favorite triggers, but only
Yeah.
because I played it in red. Um, and you can like do some like pretty good shenanigans where you like bring out like a removal Signy and you get to stop 2 attacks. But that's not notable in
Hmm.
this because you're locked into angels. Um, its second effect is fine. You can prevent or basically prevent removal, but the fact that it's a 10k makes this a lot less to be desired because in every pretty much in every situation, your opponent can be able to remove it like fairly easily, which I just don't like. And the fact that you also have to or the add a level 1 signature is or a level 1 angel is on attack makes it worse too in that regard. So I don't know. I think this card like it has a good design, but I think like a lot of things are holding it back because of like the restrictions it has to it. But I think like it's just like okay, maybe it's probably gonna be better when angels get more support as like a good defensive option. But then it's still competing with
Hmm.
stuff like Arcane.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the argument for angel cards for now on until the
Yeah, it's
deck
just
actually gets
Arcwind's
good.
very Arcwind's just a very good card overall.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's go ahead and move on.
All right. So the only good card, black card in this set. We are here, finally. Phalaris, Code Ancient, Sign level 3, 12k. You need to down 2 L rigs to play this if you wanted to attack. And whenever this Signy vanishes, Signy on your opponent's field through battle, put the top 10 cards of that player's deck into their trash. This card just came in to put Diagram on the map, to be honest. Diagram didn't had much going for it before. You had a Landling that could mill, and you had your piece. Then you, like, if you wanted to go through stuff, you had to just use your minuses on the opponent's Signies. And let's be honest, you needed to at least use 2 cards to get rid of something. And that is just a lot on the deck. This just makes you not want to vanish everything. You can just attack onto that spot, mill 10 of your opponent. This is milling a lot, as we talked about before. This is one of the other cards that makes you like might want to use your piece to grab 3 cards. You're just milling a lot. But even if you want to just use this together with your piece, it's just 25 cards down the drain like that. And at this point in the game, your opponent's decks are usually like this. Decks usually, if you're playing against Card Jockey, they are filtering their decks. So their matchup against Diagram is just bad because they want to filter the decks to get level 3s and you just make them go back to full deck. If you're playing against, I think I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, I did. But if you're playing like against anything that is, well, I guess Card Jockey is the main that this just annihilates. But anything that just grabs from deck, if you're playing against green, they're energy charging a lot. It's just right now you have Phalaris that if you vanish something, you mill 10, you have your piece, you have Landling. It's just sometimes you can pull off two refreshes to your opponent in a game. Not that often though, because usually when you get the second one, they don't have life cloth anymore. But yeah, this is just a really good card that came to put like Diagram a bit more on the map than it was before. You have more options to just mill, and I just love this card. It's just, I feel like this card coming out to Diagram is just a 5. Um it just helps the deck a lot, and people will need to have in mind that this is something that Diagram will run 100% of the times as of right now, and most likely in the future this card will be used for some time in any mill deck. It's just a card that I love, and I've been talking for too long. So next one, please take the lead.
It's okay. So, yeah, I'll pretty much just touch up on most of what you said and a couple other things. So, um, the reason why this card is like insanely strong for Diagram in particular is one of the main things is its harmony cost doesn't compete with anything else in the deck. You're not running multiple harmony cards. You're only running this, so the harmony cost doesn't exist realistically. Um, and with Diagram, you're generally leaving both of your defensive options back in your Mizuka center deck, and sometimes even in Madoka. And this allows you to have different kinds of turns where you're choosing not to go heavy on like the removal, and you can go like Lancer in one lane, this in another lane, and then just like another faded lane, and you'll be able to not only just push a single damage while also protecting your board. You'll be able to access your other form of damage through mill, maybe during the following turn. And the biggest thing about this card is that it allows you to play Salvage the Future to actually add 3 back as opposed to mill 15. Because before this card existed, you're pretty much always opted to mill 15 more often than not. Um, which basically made the piece, it didn't have a second option, which isn't that great. You would very rarely use the add 3 back, but like something like this plus Laling is literally the mill 15 on Salvage the Future, and that when you put them in lanes where they're less desired to be vanished from is like insanely good. And if your opponent has to vanish this card because it is threatening a damage on you through mill, it feels really bad because you'd rather use this on like a close or like on an open lane. Um, and early game, it's pretty much always likely to get it off because, like I said, you're not going to be wanting to vanish this because if you have to, then you're probably already losing. Um, so yeah, this thing just for such a simple card adds so much variance to a deck that already has a lot of variance in it. And the lines that you get with this card, both like early, mid, and late game, is like insanely noticeable. The more you play it, or the more you play against it. Um, and I'm in agreement with Eden. I definitely think this card's a 5. Um, while it's not like the best card in like the whole set or anything, the what it does and what it gives to diagram is more noticeable. The like I said, the more you play it or play against it, and so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I don't know what Tetra has to follow up on it, but if you got anything to say, you can.
Sure, I got something to say. Actually, Eden said like this is putting music on the map. I actually think Xenocluster is putting this deck on the map, and of course Polaris is really good. Okay, prior to all this, I'm not the diagram player here,
Mhm.
but so I'm not 100% sure on what I'm saying. But yeah, it's a really good option as you all said. Like the main thing I see in this card is the ability of enable your salvage to salvage a 3 card back instead of just milling 15 every single time, and that's really good already. Now you said this enables your like turns where you don't want to remove as much stuff. I don't see that happening. Like it's not a turn I would like to have. Maybe. Yeah. If I'm using this, I just want 2 lanes open and 1 closed for this to be over, and in that case, it's good. So yeah, it's just salvage 3 cards back, which is good.
Mhm.
Hmm. This right now is just a stream of thoughts. So you'll know. You'll have to know. Yeah, just as of now, I'm gonna say this like Musica is probably the best deck in the format for me. I'm not entirely sure of how it does in the matchup against Lion. But that's the only doubt I have because I think pretty much against every other deck, maybe Madoka. Mm, yeah. Against like it does well against any deck. Like you have no major bad matchups, and I really like the defensive option the deck has. Like they're just really solid. And I think going back to Polaris, I think yeah, it's just a really good option the deck has. Also because it didn't have as many good level 3s. Like you just had Longling, which is very good, but it's only one good level 3 you have on board. For the rest, it's just leave Dark Energy on board, which is a 10k and it's not the greatest thing you can do. The harmony cost, as you said, is almost non-existent. You're limited to 1 copy per turn, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you only have
Uh,
one.
you might want to be playing 2 because you have no 12Ks in hand, but unlucky, dude.
Um,
Maybe next time.
the only thing
Yeah.
I will disagree with you with, from what you said, is that diagram not having good level 3s. I actually think they only have good level 3s, and that's like the biggest problem when it comes to deck building because Mirage is like solid. Dark Energy is like a must because
Oh, yeah, I was
it, it
forgetting about Tana Mirage actually. Yeah, you're
yeah, it
right.
enables your math to or
Yeah.
Dark Energy while being a 10k is a liability. Um, it's essential for making some turns the way they are.
No, no,
Lolly is
like I meant for end boards. Like
yeah,
house.
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
Of course, Dark Energy is very good, but for
yeah.
end
I was just
boards,
saying
it's
like
not
due to the
the best
high
option.
potency of
Yeah.
like their level threes, I
No.
think that's the
Yeah.
only problem with this card is that you only get to run like a limited quantity of it. But I mean, you once again you only do need a single copy of this per game. Um, and best case you can just salvage another one. So yeah, this card's amazing. Yeah, very just over the it's a very good card and it's such a simple effect, but it works so well in the archetype that they put it in. So yeah.
I just didn't take into account Ana Mirage, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's another option. Yeah, very good.
Before we move on into the next card, I'm just gonna give a warning to the to the audience. The next cards are all like pretty mediocre, so if we're not talking about them for long, just know that it's for that fact. Because a lot of blacks cards are just very bad this set, and so we might not have much to say about them, if anything. But yeah,
Probably.
we can move on.
Next
Whose
one
turn is
is
it? I don't even
yours.
remember. We talked about that for a while.
You,
Oh, it's me. Okay.
you.
All right. We have ePhone code art. It is a Mectone Electronics because it's a phone. um,
It's an earphone.
when a player uses a spell, you enter charge one, and then you can that's a once per turn, so this happens on both players' turns. And as an on-enter to pay 2 black, add a black spell from trash to hand. This card is cool, but it doesn't really do
Go
anything.
far.
Like I like
It
the
doesn't go
idea.
far.
I like the idea of it, but once again, it's if you're playing this in diagram, you literally can't because your potence of level 3 is just too high already. If you're playing this in like a deck that splashes black, maybe. Uh, but I don't think it's like unplayable. But in everything that you can play it in now, it definitely is. Um, but like the overall design of the card is fine. But oh, like yeah, I don't know. It's like you're paying 2 to add back a black spell, then you're playing said black spell to refund yourself by 1. So you're effectively playing 2 to use a spell, but you have to have an initial 3 enter to be able to do that in the first place. And the math on this card with like how it refunds you just doesn't work out. And the fact that it's a level 3 10k is a liability. I've also just now talked myself out of this card. I'm gonna put it at a 1. Um, yeah, this
Oh,
it's unfortunate. It's a cool design, but I think it's like you just can't play it.
probably if it was for one, you get back one spell. You will splash maybe one copy.
That's
Just
fair.
to have it as a fifth spell. And yeah, like this card is bad because there's no other like there are so many better options that you don't want to be playing this card. Like in the end, you can like just play these, use a spell. Maybe your opponent uses a spell too. Uh, like that's something, but it's not as good as the other cards Black has. Like even I don't know, Lulu is better than this.
Yeah.
You don't play Lulu. So yeah, just a 2 because it's decent, but there are so many better options out there that it's not played. This doesn't play.
Yeah, my opinion is just going to what both of you said. It's a 10k. It like you have to pay 2 to grab a spell. It can only be a black spell, and then to enter just enter charges when a player uses a spell. It's basically all around just going with spells. I know, even though like some people might run 4, 6 spells. I don't know. This might be out of the board before anyone uses a spell, or will be out of the board with a spell. So I might see people running this just because they want to interact with spells, but as an end, like an end goal with this card, I don't think it's gonna see that much play, if at all.
It's not diagram is not like black is not a very spell archetype. Spell
Yeah.
Hmm.
cover.
If it wasn't a level 3, I would say it's better, but it is.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and move on to the card
Yeah.
that makes me angry.
Oh no.
I don't remember what it made you angry, like
Uh,
specifically, but I remember it does.
just go ahead and read away. I'll talk about it
Yeah.
when it gets to me.
Okay. Yeah. Next card is another level 3 10k to call a natural planet. Pay to give minus 8k to something. We have so many level 3s that do that better with one enter. Bad.
I'm not gonna talk much about this. I already gave it its grade, and I'll let you, Skarada, take the lead because it's basically both of our opinions in one. You can just take it up. Just go on.
Okay. Uh, man. Okay. So this card is honestly not worth talking about, but I'm gonna talk about it because I'm upset because of how they designed it. So, Anna Mirage is the card. It is the other uh black Signy. You rise and then you can pay 1 to give minus 8k, and it's on a 13k body. So what is the use for this card? The idea of this card is that it's generic. You pay 2 minus 8k. You can splash this in anything. It's also a Cosmos, which can be maybe relevant. Um, and so yeah, it has like a generic use. But why would you play this and not Anna Mirage? The only thing that you can, or the only argument that you can make for not playing one or the other is that this one doesn't have a life burst. But at the same time, this is also a 10k body. So when you're
Which means
when you're
to
comparing 1 to 1, it's like it's so unfortunate because you just splash Anna Mirage in anything, um, because it rises on anything. So it completely like destroys the dignity of what this card had going on for it, being splashable on anything. Um, and yeah, it's just a worse card, and I'm very upset because of that. Because like a generic card is cool to be able to splash on anything, but when it just has a superior copy of itself, it like why even print it? Why? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you can play both these and Tala Mirage, like White Para and
I'm flying over to
Argy.
you, and I'm gonna smack you in the face.
If I ran this in a deck, I would be mid playing and just pick this card and like tear it apart, like in half or something like that. It's just as you said, it's a 10k. You pay 2, and like Animirage is like as you said, the only difference
It's
is
the
the
same
life
card, but
burst.
it's better.
Yeah, and like Animirage's life burst isn't bad. It's like a really good life burst. I really like to
Yeah,
use
it
it when it
hurts.
comes up. It's really strong. Uh, because you can use any enter abilities. You can put any card you want onto the field. You can basically put a Phalaris in your opponent's turn on the field, and then during your turn you can put another one on the field. If we're gonna go that route, but yeah, this card is just I don't know why it was printed.
Yeah, like if I'm
Play
gonna be
to play
completely
out 8
honest,
on the Mirages.
yeah, play minus 16 for three enter. Let's go. Yeah, if you were to play this, you like I said, you'd be playing it because your life bursts are probably too potent or something. But I don't know. This card is like fine, but I'm just angry that it has a superior copy of it. Um,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just giving these a 2 just because it's not a bad card. It's just
yeah,
worse than
there might
others.
be like some very rare applications for like very very rare, but yeah, we're good to move on. I'm done with the tangent.
Yep.
Done with this.
I
This is
feel
Demon's,
like
right?
yeah. Signy level 2 Erebus Doomed Angel. It's another angel. Whenever it enters, all Signy opponents will get minus 1k. This is bullshit. You don't want to use this anywhere. Just rip it apart. All black cards are shit. God damn it.
5. This card has awesome art.
5.
Like the art on this card is amazing, but uh,
That's the thing that annoys me the most on this set. All the like 90% of the black cards have extremely good art, but they are wasted on shitty effects.
Yeah.
Get to that's the
That's the
best deck.
thing. That's the thing that makes me most mad about this.
Yeah, minus 1k globally is literally never gonna do anything for you. Because like yeah, the idea is that you're stacking this in multiple places, and maybe you can like kill multiple things because of this, but minus 1k, like you're forced to play like maybe like if you want even like a sliver of chance to be able to like get multiple things with this, you have to play 3 of them.
Mhm.
And yeah, this card is like actually unplayable. Like I can't see anybody sleeving this up unless we're like in some meta game where all the level 1s are 1Ks, which I know is not a thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
this card's like literally garbage. Like it's actually garbage.
Yeah. Also, the thing is, baseline
But I will give it one of
your
these.
diagram, your diagrams cards either go -8 or -5. So with this, you're gonna go on 6, and no Signy as of now got 6k power, or 9, which is the same. Like no Signy has 9k power. So yeah, like you will be playing this in some bug maybe, but I don't think you want to really play this in some bug either. Also because you have Fuyuki Akaze, which is the
Yeah,
level 1 -1k. So
I mean it works decently like math wise with the Fuyuki's partner
Fuyuki
Rena,
Akaze,
which is like on attack minus 1k for each
yeah.
signal you control, which you can do. You can do like this, and then with the full board, it's like minus 4k to the front or to the row.
Nope, it's only for virtuals if I remember correctly.
Never mind. Let's move on.
Minus I don't remember. For the virtuals you have
Tragic. All right.
-3. I don't remember.
I don't know.
What do
Really,
you
my
I
mean?
I
first
think it's
deck
the
and I
Sabaka
don't
only
best
thing you
deck.
can
remember.
have on the field, but yeah, you're right. Toko's just best deck. It doesn't even need any good cards.
Yeah, of course not. It's just overall a great deck. It's balanced.
The best deck, actually.
Yeah.
Is this next card me? Argyris
uh,
Doomed Evil. It's Idle Tone Demon. Cool demon trait. You can mill 2 and it becomes a 10k until the end of the turn. It's only once per turn. It has a life burst. Add target black Signy from your trash to hand. Target Signy your opponent so it gets minus 3k. Uh, uh, that
yes.
the life burst is like cool, but I know it's not gonna work half the time. And I mean, I guess if you're in a mill deck, which demons are, self mill, it's kind of cool. It's a 10k. Um, what I will give it for is
Gosh.
having a Yoshi on the card art. I'll give it a Yoshi. That's pretty cool. That I have nothing to say about this card. That's just a mill 2. It's a 10k. Its life burst is really weird. Uh, yeah. If you're in a self mill deck, this card's kind of cool, but it's literally just a 10k with a really weird life burst.
It would be something if, I don't know, the life burst was add 1 Signy or put it on board and then -3k, but even then you will be playing this for the life burst, and it wouldn't be a really good life burst.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not great. It's just
Yeah.
weird. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
like
want to build, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
doesn't matter.
Go ahead, Eden.
I was just
Go ahead.
gonna say that like if you want to mill, sure this helps. If the plus 2k was until your opponent's enter end of turn, but again, if you want to do like life burst level 2s, you have the one I forgot the name, the green one that you have a 12k. If it is on the
Kiyosumi.
center, yeah, Kyosumi. I play it and I always
Kiyosumi,
forget the name.
folklore. There's so many options.
Yeah, just so everything just
It's got
better.
a, it's got a Yoshi on it.
Damn, I love Kyuzumi.
It's just a Yoshi.
I don't even know why. Like this is generally like copyright. Yeah, I see them suing them for Yoshi on cardboard.
I'm not a big channel. They won't care.
Okay, let's move on to Changong. Doom General. Level 2 10k life burst add up to 2 Signi without a guard from your touch to your end. These achieves nothing other than putting resources in your end, which is cool, but like yeah, but there are better stuff. There's better stuff to play. Nice artwork though.
Yeah, that's just the art thing that I said before. It's just there are a lot more life bursts. Like when you use a life burst, you want it to have an impact during your opponent's turn, and this doesn't achieve anything. Basically, you want to be downing, you want to be putting stuff back on the board, you want to be killing things. You don't want to get two cards back to your hand. That's just
I
basically
mean,
my opinion.
you do, but you might do want to like just get back stuff. Getting back stuff is good, but as you said, it doesn't impact your opponent's board, nor your board. Putting stuff on your board, and yeah, it's just getting resources back. But there's other triggers that do better than this.
Hmm.
This is the best if you want to just get back resources, but it's not what you want to do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 10 divided by 10, which is 1,
no.
I
It
guess.
is a this is a 10 out of 10, and I'll explain to
Okay.
you exactly why. So, I don't know
Sure.
if there's any other cards in this set that were related to the Chinese dynasties, but this is one of them. This is Chengong, and for anybody who knows about
Chinese.
Chinese history, or I guess the Chinese dynasties, you'll know that this is the advisor for one of the strongest Chinese leaders named Lu Bu, which I don't know if we're ever gonna get a card of Lu Bu, but that'd be sick. But
Lusuzuara.
Oh.
I'm a very big fan of Chinese dynasties, and that's why I love Zhao Yun so much and stuff like that. So I'm obligated to give this card a 10 out of 10 because it references that, and
It's for respect.
yeah, it's for respect. Yeah, the character this is based on, or the person this is based on, like super Chad, and yeah,
Mhm.
that's all I gotta say. The effect is like, what is the effect again?
You didn't even care.
I don't have to target two Signy with that. Oh, wait, it's just a +2. Wait, this card's bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't even stop attacks. You can't even put them on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Oh
wanted to
wait,
put
but it's an
2
Idle
CDs on the
Tone
field.
Brave, and there's support for that.
Ah.
There's like one card for it. No, in all honesty though, yeah, this card doesn't do enough for a life burst tech. You have stuff like Folklore. You have the Sea Tree, which is the green one, which lets you summon a card. Yeah, this card's just like a straight +2, which you don't want. You want something that defends your
Lanes.
yeah, your lands. So yeah, honestly, aside from the whole lore thing, I don't think this card's playable. But it's
Because
playable in
it's
my heart.
somehow playable because of its lore thing.
Yeah, play this in a full
Okay.
Chinese Dynasty deck one day.
Just go for it. I would love to
Play
see
Chinese deck today.
it.
All right.
So Zhao Yun is yellow, so it's gonna be a dream team.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dream team.
Yellow,
We'll
white.
get there eventually. One card at a time.
Yeah.
We get Zhuge Liang
Card per
next
set.
set, so.
Mhm.
All
All
right.
right. So I think it's mine, right?
Yes, I've lost track.
Yeah. All right, so this is Signy level 1, Mo natural element. Whenever a level 2 or less Signy enters the Signy zone in front of this Signy, you may put this Signy on your field into its owner's trash, and if you do, put the Signy that entered the Signy zone into its owner's trash. God damn it. Life burst, you may pay 1. If you do, target Signy on your opponent's field gets minus 8k. There was a bit of conversation at the beginning with this card, and I've seen some people on Discord still talk about it, thinking that this might work with Kyosumi. It doesn't. Just a note. It would be awesome if it did, but it doesn't. Like if you could play this, play Kyosumi, and then put something in front of this and just kill.
Just erased one
Uh,
of my arguments. But
yeah. Yeah, it's like it doesn't work. It would be good if it did. It's a
Yeah,
level
because
one
it's
three.
enters. It's
Yeah.
enters.
hmm Uh, it's a level one 3K. I don't know. It might come in handy sometimes. The life burst. It's not the worst, but I can see some people play like two copies of this. But your opponent will be aware of the effect and just try to get rid of it before. And if they put like a level 3 in front of this, it's just like it doesn't do anything.
Hey, another.
Yeah.
Um, so I actually can't talk about this card because uh a good
Played.
a very well known diagram player, two well known diagram players that I know by the Discord name of B and Dusel have talked about this card because they're the biggest like diagram mains I know. Um,
hmm
Is the
so
argument of it's better than ball or not?
yeah, and it's you choose
hmm
the life burst whether you want to pay one for the minus 8k or pay two for the minus 12k. Um, it is like strictly preference. Ball is better in more mid to late game situations, whereas this one is significantly better in early game situations because you're only playing both of them for their life burst. Ball has some like minor applications with your self mill, but it's also worse in the mirror. Um, and whereas this one is like it's literally a vanilla. You never want to be opening a lane for your opponent for free, so you're never resolving this effect like ever. Um, because if you do, you're likely losing. And I think the only one time you can make the argument that you're going to use this ability is that if your opponent has absolutely no cards in their hand, um, or I mean, I guess one card in their hand, and they play like a Zhao Yun in front of this, and you know that they're not going to be able to clear the lane, so you can use this to, or they're not going to be playing another card in the lane, so you use this to pop the Zhao Yun, so you don't have to deal with it next turn. But
Yeah.
that is like the only case I think you play this card or that effect. Other than that, if you're giving your opponent the free lane, like you're setting yourself up to lose, and that's where I think like the design of this card just fails. But the life burst is the biggest argument to be made, whether you want to pay one for minus 8 or pay two for minus 12. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
haven't experienced the deck as I said, but in an hypothetical build, I will choose Ball over this, and it's just preferential. And yeah, I would just use Ball over this, and yeah, the only argument to play this card on board actually is just yeah, your opponent is out of resources, and if you're playing Musica, that has to happen because your opponent ran out of resources himself. Like you have no way to manipulate that. You're not gonna play this in a Madoka build, I think.
yeah, you won't.
I mean, will you?
No.
Don't think so.
Oh, yeah,
The
okay.
the yeah, the only thing about life burst that we were talking about, like this or ball, I like ball just because I know this might be an opinion that better players or other people might not think, but like I like the self mill on ball just because since I
You
use
deserve.
since I use the level one sangha that can grab stuff from trash, I can use it for that. We can use it for the piece. We can use it to allow landling or dagger if people are playing dagger. Uh, just like overall, if you want to get like just those last few cards in your trash to just be able to use your other cards' effects, I think it just that's why I like ball way more than this. If we were going to go strictly for life burst, I usually don't use ball's effect when I get in a life burst. It's just like you pay two. I usually get them in early game. You would have to get them in late game, and even then, you kind of use your enter somewhat. So it depends a lot. But yeah, I prefer ball a lot more, even because of just the normal effect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like ball more personally too. But yeah, that's the
yeah,
only pretty much talking point of this card. I think
yeah.
hmm
we're good.
Yeah. For Baldo, it's just yeah. some of your burst like get back stuff, and that meal is not the reason you pretty much play the card. Like, it's something you can do. Their big argument is just you don't have many level ones that have very good life bursts. So yeah, you have to make the argument
Hmm.
between these and ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we're good to go to the next.
Is
Gaming.
is this me?
It's yours. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Gamagan, Doomed Evil. It is another demon. When this card is put in trash from deck, if it's your turn, you can pay a black and then give -3K to target Signy. I mean it's a 1K level 1 too. It's very strange. Yeah, this is a weird card. I mean, okay. So in a vacuum, I think this card's terrible, but I will talk about why it can be good in like a very particular build. If you're mixing like Cosmos plus like Self Mill, you can like set this up by playing I think it's Libra that shuffles level
Libra.
ones back.
Libra. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can like put like 2 or 3 of these back from your trash, and then you can play like a Self Mill card and then proc this effect, or have higher odds to proc this effect. Um,
Everything goes back to mixing level black and white.
yeah,
The
exactly.
way.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much the only application this card has behind it. I mean, if you are playing a self mill, like just a strictly self mill deck, and you're not playing the Cosmos, and you hit this, that's like cool. Pay one for -3K is like fairly decent for early game. It's like a payoff for the mill 2 10K body that we saw earlier. But other than that, I do think this card is like actually like almost or pretty much unplayable. But if you're
Yeah.
playing it like in the deck that it's supposed to be designed for, yeah, it's like a cool addition, but that's I don't know, it's not good.
Yeah, like for this card to be decent, you will have to be like on a turbo mill deck list, and if you're doing that, you're refreshing yourself. So that's not something you want to build, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just some shenanigan with shuffle back, stack your level ones, etc. Yeah, just not something you really want to do, and it's a 1K vanilla, and you just play double colors over this. They're more impactful in the game. Like, even if you wanted to make the argument, okay, I put this as a garnet in my deck. If I eventually mill this, like, in the end, that's gonna impact less games than 5Ks will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
not one.
yeah. So when I first saw this card, I loved the art, and I made my mission to make it work. It didn't. Um,
It's called
I
gaming, though.
yeah, I tried going like Hecate so you can check your top 3 and then use ball to just mill it. But then like I guess this card would be used more often if it was on either yours or your opponent's turn. Even then it wouldn't be great, but it would be a bit better. This is just like if you're milling only on your turn and then I just I, it goes back to the all these arts are exceptionally good. The effects are trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool design, but bad card overall.
Yeah.
If your opponent was going like salvage the future mill 15 mill, like 4 of these for 0 cost, and it worked on your opponent turn, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have to pay for, but
it's
like,
not the case.
yeah.
Let's move next.
So this is me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you roboted again for me before. Now you're good.
Oh,
You're good.
sorry.
Okay, so next card is another level 1, 2K, Nyx, Doomed Angel. Interflect, if there are 3 or more angels signing on your field, the target signing your opponent's field gets minus 2K. On. Like this. on your field. So this is the last card you play to get a minus 2k. Like does nothing. I would rather play Erebus, the other level 2 Signet 3k to give the whole board the minus 1k. Like, and as we said, Angel is pretty much unplayable as of now.
I would think this card would be better if you only need 2 or more angels. Also, sorry, I stole your comment. I'm just mad.
Oh.
Like I just feel like it's that I don't have any more energy to look at these cards anymore. It's
Set
just
fillers.
yeah, you basically look at the art and you see I want to use this. You look at the effect and you put it into trash.
Yeah.
It's basically that.
I'm not even putting these into
This
trash.
card's
Like
so
this is out
unfortunate,
of my
man.
deck.
I just burn them.
If you were just able to play this card when if you only had 2 or more angels, you'd actually this card would like the math would work out on this card well because I have played this card. I played this in my angel deck because I just needed an angel to, or a black angel to play. Um, and yeah, just it just doesn't work out. It's tragic.
Yeah.
It's decent, but you need so many angels. Like the most of angel supports that are like just have many supports that are all like low decent,
Well,
and
like I said, like
not even that, and you will.
even if you have a full angel deck, like which what I was doing,
Yeah,
you have to play this as your third card, and this kills basically nothing. Like the only things
yeah.
it kills is Romel, or I don't even think is Romel 2K. Romel's not
And
even a 2K.
it is.
Oh, it is okay. Yeah, it kills that and Hanio, but like those are so rare that it's like I don't know. It's just card's tragic. If you're able to play this with
Yeah.
2 angels, you could play this or as your second card and then another copy of it to give minus 4K, which like the math works out better. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
not good. So I think we're good.
Yep. So let's go to the last card on the set. It's a spell, Searchlight. You pay 1 black. Each players put the top 3 cards of their deck into the trash. Then, if you have 25 or more cards in your trash, add target Signy without a Guardian from your trash to your hand. I don't know. It's a spell. It helps you mill your opponent. But the fact that you need 25 cards or more, yeah, it's just the same thing. It's just the same thing, Scrata. Yep. It's just that. Hmm. Yeah, you need 25 cards or more, and then you just add something. Oh, sure, it helps you mill yourself and your opponent for your effects and to just mill them out, but I don't see this being played that often. I might see some people play it, but I don't think there is a space for it.
Yeah.
This
I think
card
if
is not good. If you the fact that you can't even add back a guard is like crazy to me because you have to have 25 or more in drop for this to
yeah,
even have a secondary or for this to even be a refund, and you can't even add back a
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah.
okay, if healing was in any shape or form like useful, and yes, but you have so many effects that like you have the right effects, the right number of effects to record yourself from your trash, and this also needs a setup to do that, and doesn't even get back a guard. I too no. One, 301. Just pay one to do nothing. Like
No. It's just 5. 5 out of 5.
oh
My also
Um,
just to be clear too, every other spell in this set, which because you know this set spawned the non-life first spells. This is
Mhm.
yeah,
literally the worst one.
yeah,
Heterophony is like the second one in line, but at least there
decent.
might
It's
be some.
playable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
playable.
there's some niche play with it, but this one is like, man, this one is like tragic. If it required like
Mm,
15 or more cards in drop to get the salvage, I would be a lot more comfortable putting this at like a 2 or 3. But the fact that you have to
mhm.
basically be decked out for this to resolve and get that other card back, it's like, ah, I'm
Yeah.
big sad.
And you kind of need to be really lucky because this to like for to have 25 cards in your trash,
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes you don't even get to 25. I see myself going
Never
to
do.
20s. Yeah, sometimes going to 20 is hard. Going to 25, it's like almost never happening because you have your enter, you have your hand, you have your field. There is like it's a bit hard to just get the 25 in there.
Yeah, you have to
You
be
know
on a
what? Like
fully dedicated mill deck for this to work.
Hmm.
maybe Madoka could see an application for this card because with Musica you don't even don't even draw cards. So you would never get to 25 in a normal game. Madoka though like draws and ditches, so can
The
somehow get
the
to 25.
the problem in Madoka though is that I actually find myself getting to the 20 cards and drop like really easily because you're doing
Yeah,
a lot of these draw ditches. But in Madoka, you're fairly limited on your black enter, and you'd rather just be
I
using it
know.
on like a Latling. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, you have the right tenor to make it work with Landling and eventually the second effect of the music assist.
but yeah,
Then what else? I don't
yeah,
think you have
exactly.
much more other black stuff.
This card is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah,
For playability, like if you can even use it, it's Madoka, but
yeah.
yeah, you're not gonna use it.
Well, that does wrap up black. Our last color will be blue, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Once again, if you want to check out Eden's channel, I'll put it in the link below. If you want to find Tetra, he's going to be in all the online tournaments, probably going X2 now.
It happened one time.
And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Yep.
Bye.